and you may begin your presentation on my cue.
Hippocrates, the famous Greek physician, once noted, "Wherever the art of medicine is loved, there is a love of humanity." Unfortunately, in today's world, the love of humanity is transformed from the love of humanity into the love of profits and return on investment. In fact, just because of the increase in prices of medicine, about 10 million people will die each year for not being able to afford the medicine that they need.
And on that note, hello Mindset team, we are Moore's Law Consulting. My name is Samoon, I'm joined by my colleagues Hannah and Brad. And today we're going to discuss our strategy to help bring awareness to this issue and hopefully restore some of this humanity that we've lost over the years. So we're going to begin with our situation analysis. So very briefly, the problem at hand is, how do we achieve 1 million signatures through leveraging existing and new online technologies? And in order to answer that question, we have to first look at 3 barriers that we've come across. First, so the data that we have, that you're providing us, reveals that there's a significant market that is being underutilized. This market, so the millennials aged 13 to 34, account for less than 7% of all traffic, of all signatures to your website. Now, the reason you might ask why is this market being underutilized? Well, for starters, millennials don't really think that medicine is something that they need to be worrying about. They take things for granted. We're young, we think we're going to live forever, but you never really know. And the reason why I want to focus on this is because millennials, 2 main reasons. One, they have the single largest online penetration rate, so at 93%. And 2, they're the largest online demographic in the US alone, so there's huge potential for us to go there. Number 2, there's very little coverage of access to medicine in the mainstream media. So for example, if you look at the US news media, 4 out of the top 10 have sort of keywords related to access to our medicine. And this is something that we need to look into because if we want to target a large market and we want to increase our signature rate, we can't just rely on our marketing, we need to expand and get mainstream media involved. And lastly, our current strategy lacks a global presence. So basically, a significant statistic that we found was that a lot of the visitors to our website from North America account to 2.5 times the entire visitors to our site. For example, so 2.5 times the amount of visitors is just North America, so all the other countries combined, North America is 2.5 times larger. So if you look at it this way, we're leaving out a significant population that is being underutilized. So, countries in Europe, for example, in Africa, third world countries, developing countries that we're not targeting. If we really want to reach 1 million signatures, we need to think beyond our confined borders. We have to look globally and see where we can gain that presence.
One of the questions you pose to us is, what initiatives we should maintain? Why? Well, we have witnessed that you've achieved success by utilizing all kinds of online engagement tools. One of the particular example is the online petition platforms such as for change.org and careto.com. Particularly achieved significant success because 84% of it provides 84% of the conversion rate on your platform at this moment stage. So moving next, we're going to look at the website. Your website resulting in very high click-through rate, and 52% of signature conversion rate is very high compared to other organizations at this moment. And we also can see a lot of growth potential for your social media at this moment because 48% of signature conversion rate is from your Facebook account and Twitter account. Several other interesting facts we noticed is that some of the information you might be missing in your first stage. Well, for example, the Google Analytics you're utilizing at this moment isn't being reached to its full potential, which means you're not fully utilizing the customization function that Google Analytics is providing to you. By utilizing the analytics customization on Google Analytics, we will have a better understanding of what traction of the clicks are coming from, where sources are coming from. So this will help the team to generate their strategies in the future.
And that being said, let's look now at our alternatives. So we came up with three. They're the status quo, a media penetration strategy, and an aggressive social media and engagement strategy. And the three decision criteria we focused on were feasibility, conversion potential, and cost. And as you can see, the one that checked off all the boxes for us was the aggressive social media and engagement strategy. And now we're going to focus on this recommendation and run through the implementation that we have for it.
So I'd now like to invite you to learn about your new marketing plan, which is called #Share for Access. So Share for Access is a value-oriented marketing strategy that focuses on three main areas. So there's the petition campaign, the aggressive social campaign, as well as the viral campaign as well.
Our recommended strategy is going to be heavily focused on the existing petition campaign. Because why? Think about it. 84% of the conversion rate is from the online petition campaign. So which means we're going to spend a large amount of money onto this investment. Large investment is going to happen, and we'll expand our campaign not only to the existing market, but also to the global reach. Which means we will have tailored website for different kinds of languages all around the world. Of course, we're going to localize the website, which means we will design the stories for local news, design the local website with local news, such as if you're visiting the website on India, you will see people have troubles access to medicines in India.
Sorry, how many localizations are you anticipating?
Right now, currently, we have countries from Spain, Germany, UK, Australia. Well, based on the analytics we have, the data we have so far, we're tracking the volumes, tractions that coming through our website this moment.
And who's doing those localizations?
The team of the project team.
The project team?
Yeah, the project team.
And they're going to be able to dynamically keep on top of local...
Yes, we're going to do a lot of analysis based on Google Analytics to see which, for example, if Spain's got higher volume traffic coming in, so we're going to do more tailored content or stories just for Spain.
If I could just hop in as well, we do have some buffer room in our budget as well if we needed to kind of get contacting some sort of outsourcing as well for us.
So how did you pick Spain, UK, Australia?
So looking at traffic directly to our website, so not including any online petition, the data showed us that the UK, Spain, and France were very high on the list just after North America, just after America and Canada. So just by looking at that, we realized that there's potential there. There's a market that's interested in this initiative, so we might as well, cater to it.
Excuse me, how do you plan to handle data privacy laws, especially in Europe and in EU?
Well, of course, because there's different laws in different countries, we'll have to investigate further into their legislation. I think within the first month that we have catered to just the development plan that we have set up for implementing the plan that we have set forth, we'll find time during that portion to be able to do the research, the required research we need to do to be able to cater to privacy laws. And
because we're using Google Analytics, a lot of the information that we collect is not really identifiable in that sense. It's all just demographics related, nothing identifiable that we have to worry about.
And how many incremental signatures do we expect to get this petition campaign?
So we'll get that. Yeah, so we're going to invest about $200,000, which is about 40% of our budget. Based on the data that we collected, it's about $1 to $2 per conversion rate, so on average it's about $1.50, and we're going to approximately get 135,000 signatures from this initiative. So the next stage 2 of this three-part process is an aggressive social campaign. So we're going to tap into the untapped social media platforms that are being underutilized. So for example, Reddit and Tumblr. And the reason why we're focusing on these two is because if we go back a couple of slides, we don't have to, but I'm just making it. We discussed one of the barriers, which was this demographic of 18 to 34 that we really wanted to focus on. Looking at the data, Tumblr and Reddit are highly engaged with these two markets. So if you look at, for example, Tumblr, 18 to 34 are on average sharing more content than the average user regarding politics, social issues, and so on and so forth. keeping in line with what we want to see. And then in terms of Reddit, just last month we had over 160 million unique visitors. The majority of which were the 18 to 34 demographic, and they were young males, and so exactly the type of people we want to focus on that is underutilized. And although we're focusing on Reddit and Tumblr, we want to make sure that we're not ignoring Facebook. Yes, we have a Facebook presence right now, but the problem is we're not investing in Facebook ads, and there's huge potential with Facebook. We can target very specific markets based on gender, based on interests, based on demographics. That's where a lot of our budget is going to go to, and we're going to spend right now. So Tumblr and Reddit are open source; they're free. There's not much cost you have to pay in terms of actually using them. In fact, there's no cost at all. But Facebook is where all the cost is going to go to for this specific campaign. So we're going to spend about $51,100 from our budget, which is about 10%, roughly calculating to $140 per day in Facebook.
And how many signatures is that going to translate into?
So we're going to do that.
Yeah, so the objective of the aggressive social campaign is just gain exposure. It's almost like our way to tap into the media that was kind of lacking. It's creating our media channels, I guess. So this is kind of the nitty-gritty of...
Where's the aggressiveness of that campaign?
So because we're tapping into social media that we haven't...
Yeah, we'll get to it.
So this is kind of the exciting part of our campaign, Share for Access, so the viral campaign. And as it suggested, is viral, but there is a social impact tied to it as well. So we realized that probably one of your concerns, based on your explanation, was that there was kind of a negative stigma attached to it being disingenuous. So our goal is to use the social impact to create a more genuine approach to a viral marketing campaign. So we're creating a personal connection between that's going to be tracked from our back end, and 5 cents per share will be donated to an organization, charity organization of our choice. Now, before you say this is kind of viral, what if $1 million worth is going to get sent out? We have decided that we're going to cap it up to $200,000, which is about 40% of our budget. So total as of now, we've used about 90% of our budget, 10% kind of leeway to wiggle room to see if there's anything else that needs to be done there. So the idea is, yes.
So you're basing a big part of our campaign on having something go viral, which is fairly difficult to orchestrate. What's your risk mitigation if it doesn't go viral?
So it's actually very risk-free because it's we only have to donate based on whoever contributes. We're not losing any more money than we have to. So at the end of the day, we are contributing to a very great cause, which is
I meant more the risk, not so much on expenditure on just the signatures, because it hasn't gone viral, therefore you haven't reached the millennium.
Sure, so if it wasn't as successful as we had anticipated, the good news is that we can still invest in the other 2 areas of our campaign. So we still have the social media and the petitions as well, tapping into even more global areas that we can go to.
So it's very flexible. We're able to move through this in and out whenever we feel that things are not keeping up as we expect to. And because we're using a lot of customized content, we know exactly where the different how the different channels are doing. So that's going to allow us to get actionable decisions moving forward.
So basically, you said you spent 90% of the budget and 10% for other things that might come up. Does this mean that Moore's Law as a consulting firm will not be paid for this engagement?
No, we're doing this as a consulting firm. I guess we're kind of a volunteer base.
Still learning.
So the idea behind the viral campaign here is just that Jane is an individual, receives a piece of information, shares it to her network of friends or whoever it would be, and yeah, so where something would cost us 5 cents to send to somebody, that person can send it to a number of people that we wouldn't thereby be able to tap into. So based on our kind of calculations here, we're spending, let's say, a maximum of $200,000 at 5 cents per share, we get a maximum of 2 million shares that we could access there. So that's just Jane. That's not including all of Jane's friends. So that's just 2 million Janes out there.
So I have a question about the viral nature of this. What about the messaging that you're going to have is going to tap into some intrinsic component of the millennial mindset? What's going to make it compelling for Jane to want to share it? If our data already shows that they're not engaged with this issue, what are you doing to make them feel like they are engaged?
So actually part of our marketing strategy is going to be in the actual marketing materials. We're going to include a portion of the bottom that includes information about the actual campaign itself in a very brief and relevant and simplistic way, as best as possible to relate and be relevant to that market. I actually have a prototype that I can show you in just a minute.
Could you show me that now?
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually good too. So this is kind of an idea of what could be posted on a Facebook page, for example. You know, you share this photo, and AOM will donate 5 cents to Project Cure. And then there's kind of facts that you should know about the area here. The idea is that we start with the current following that we have on Facebook and Twitter and with our emails, and kind of grow from there fairly.
And what's Project Cure?
So Project Cure is an international non-government organization focused on the donating medical equipment to underdeveloped countries or countries who need it. So it's very much in line with the organization's values and mission statement.
But does it, I guess to me, what's the difference between Project Cure and how it relates to millennials and Access Our Medicine? And how does that relate? Wouldn't it have the same relationship or challenge?
So this is not necessarily targeted to millennials. The campaign that I'm going to connect to more. Yeah, so the one about
Go ahead.
Now that we understand our recommendations, let's move forward to look at the implementations we have to see what's going to happen, what's our detailed actions in the future for a couple of months, maybe to the end of the project. So the first part that the team needs to accomplish is that establish a positive relationship with the charity organizations such as Project Cure or other type of organizations. And coming up next is that the team will have to update their current website with the latest information about this campaign. And of course, we'll have to translate this website into several different languages to tailor different geographically needs, such as other types of languages. And as well as we're going to launch Facebook Ads and Tumblr engagement in the future. And of course, we will have making sure that well-developed, customized Google Analytics is being ready when the campaign launches. So we'll have a better understanding of where the traffic is coming from and help the team to analyze it.
So you mentioned that you only use Google Analytics to look at website data, but what about data from all the other sources?
So sources from Twitter and
Facebook and so forth.
So that's where the customized Google Analytics campaign tracking comes in. The NGO currently, all they do is they have their default channel groupings. It just says direct source, Twitter or Facebook. If we actually tap into the customized nature of Google Analytics, we can actually go delve deeper. We can actually create customized campaigns. So we can see, for this marketing campaign on this month, these are the links we sent out. We can see exactly who's reaching back to us. It won't just say Facebook. It'll say month of October Facebook so-and-so campaign. So that's what we're going to try to get our analytics moving forward. And then so the next month, we're in line with WHO Day. We're going to launch Share for Access officially with the content on the website, and have the Google Analytics integration in place. And one thing we're going to do is going to host an IMA, which is called Ask Me Anything. This is where Reddit comes into place. So Reddit is basically a community where users are able to discuss things that they're interested in. And one of the subreddits, what they refer to as one of the communities, is all about asking professionals or people who are famous things that you guys are interested in. So people who are highly influential, people who are celebrities, people who are NGOs making a difference. You can ask them things, and they can discuss upcoming project they have, initiatives they have, and sort of get that engagement with them. So this is where we're targeting that 18 to 34 demographics, because this is where they're active a lot. So just for example, Bill Gates is usually up there all the time. We have an NGO. This is actual data from yesterday. We have iFix, which is an NGO that's trying to bypass DRM and unlock their phones. That's an NGO.
Yeah, there's like upwards of hundreds of people on that platform as well. So just to answer your question regarding how we're going to get them engaged.
What happens if you attract the wrong type of people? You get a whole bunch of trolls?
Reddit is very, for those who use Reddit, they're very good at managing trolls. For whatever reason, the community itself has a way of dealing with trolls. You will almost never deal with them because they'll be taken care of. This is from my personal experience.
It's the upvote, downvote algorithm they have kind of in place.
And lastly, we're going to continue to monitor our website traffic quarterly, monthly, so on and so forth. We're going to make sure.